I'm in my home with my son, but I always have this mask on going outside my door. So many people don't. The majority, the vast majority.
So we're gonna start voting on this stuff, and you guys let me know if I'm conceptualizing this correctly. Okay. So of all of the things that I've heard, right, the one you said was concern. The biggest concern, right, is safety and security in the building. So we want to ask property to be explicit with us as to what can we expect to be done. Is that?
Yes, and something, not because of my option, and ways that get.
Okay. Right. So, and I think that's what Mark was getting at as well, is like having concrete things, right? Because we can have these like very broad, like safety and security is a huge thing here. So secure the stairwell is the concrete thing that we can ask them about. What does that look like?
They unauthorized people out in the building, they have no right, they have a contract, all that authority. And not allow them to insist on doing this, because they notice, you know, the officers are not making the public, that you have a tenant that allows fights of 10 people outside their unit every day, especially on the weekend. Now, what's the
with both tenants and non-tenants alike. What can we expect to be done to make those secure? Is that correct? Can we vote on that one? Okay.
Yeah, could I suggest functional cameras and possibly fob entrances at those fire escapes?
Sure. Yeah, you can. I think that that's a good thing. Let me. I'm trying to think if that should be a second piece. Yeah, securing the fire escapes. Yeah,
And,
that's fine. Mm-hmm.
and better cameras out in the parking lot.
Okay. So just one. Yeah, 1 second on the parking lot piece. We're gonna finish the stairwell one and then. So is that's a yes from everyone, right? I got it. Okay. And that's an alarm in the hallways or alarm in units? Hallways. Okay. 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 So before we continue down, because we can go down the rabbit hole, right? So the hallway alarms don't always stop during a fire. We're concerned about the stairwell doors. And then cameras. And then cameras and security at emergency exits.
I'm sorry, guys. We can hear my son better than we can hear the meeting.
Okay. So there have been fires that happened and the alarms did not go off in the hallway. On one of them, but not another. Got it. Can we move on to the next one?
Yeah, it's gonna get people killed.
I think the overall thought is we have spoken both for some real education going in and work. So the tenants actually will be trying to see buildings, you know.
So like doing
Fire alarm.
like a fire, what are they called? Like the fire drill? Stuff like that?
I think he was talking about the drunk drills where idiots will just set off the
Can we move
alarm.
on to the second point? The second point that I think almost everyone brought up is unauthorized non-tenants coming into the building. We want to know, and then in some cases actually staying here. So we want to know for property management, what are you doing? What can you do? So they kind of give, you've heard of vague, sort of it's a process, but we want to hear like, what are the specific steps? We want to know like what actually happens because we're not seeing it.
What? Why is it so difficult to get rid of it? I mean, the way we see it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and vote on what is being done to keep this place safe and keep people who are not tenants out of the building. Okay? This is broadly all of its understanding.
Yeah, I agree. We
Okay.
need to do something about that.
Okay. So, and I just want to be conscious of our time. We are running low on our time. Once it gets to be 3:30, what will happen is we'll take those things that we have voted on, and one or two of us, at least one of us, right? But if we want to have a second person come with us, we're going to go talk to property management, maybe 15 minutes, and give them what we are wanting to chat with them about. That will be a time only to give them those two. You do an hour resident council and then an hour with property management? Okay, well, this time we only scheduled 20 minutes, but in the future we can
I
look at
hope
scheduling
Aaron
something
could be
longer.
good and let me go walk
So,
down with them. Come with and not
right.
tear up.
But in this context, to keep the integrity of this group, yeah. Right, because we can easily see them and be like, I have been wanting to talk to you about this for 7 months, and you haven't been around. But that's not a part of this meeting. The meeting is, this is what we voted on. Exactly. Exactly. So, with that in mind, right now we have the two things. Tenants, unauthorized or non-tenants being in the building, and then the stairwells. So those are the two things. Is there anything else that's very concrete that we talked about that we would like to vote on? All the rest, that's your kind of room, bill like that, it's final, final, blah, 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 and the first one is okay, okay. Yeah, what specifically? They have the right to terminate it. All this stuff. They can get rid of it. So what do you think? No, we've got to pass this on this. What's reasonable? No, that's it. So really what we're asking is, instead of getting a notice that says this is your final notice, but you haven't received one in the past, is them giving you notices consistently anytime that they find, oh hey, you didn't pay this much. So right. So we're asking for them to be consistent with delivering. If something's not right, please let me know as soon as possible so that I can correct it. But yes. Okay. But the thing is also that somebody needs to bring up the management. Go up higher. Some management responsibility regarding the balance. The only part that's not correct is the posting those things. Chart. Hey, okay. Can I bring it back? So it sounds like we have two things here, right? We want more consistent correspondence from property on what do we owe and are we in good standing. And then the second, which is another thing we can vote on separately, because they're really two things, is we want property to cover budgeting or cover things that are long overdue. Is that correct? No, sorry, I was talking about the past due balance. Thank you. Okay. So it sounds like the biggest concern here and what might solve the problem is consistent correspondence and what we see is respectful correspondence. Consistent and respectfully timed correspondence from property. Is that an accurate? Okay. Can we vote on that? All in favor?
Definitely, yes.
Okay. So it's not a part of this one, but I think let's keep that for the next month because we have the three things that we've really decided on. Is that palatable for everybody here?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So there's kind of the grand like safety and security thing, and then we're kind of just like bringing it down into manageable. Like, okay, what are we doing about this thing? What are we doing about that thing? And all sort of come under that. So let's pocket the needle thing for next month specifically. We'll do that, and then we will bring these three items to property in the next few minutes. Does that sound good? Yeah. Yeah. So the first point is that the stairwells are being utilized by both tenants and non-tenants, or the emergency exit stairwells. That the hallway alarms don't always go off during a fire, and we are wondering about cameras and security measures at these emergency exits. What is being done? Okay. Is that generally though when we're talking specifically about the emergency exits? Is that generally? Okay. So then that's actually another line item that we need to vote on bringing for them. Okay, so the stairwells is one item. Okay, the next is cameras and security measures across the building. Okay, what's being done? And can we get cameras working? That's what right? Okay. Non-tenants being in the building. And then finally, respectful and timely correspondence from property management.
Yeah, it may be considered another line item, but the security issues in the parking lot are the same as the security issues in the stairwells.
Yeah. Sherry was saying that a lot of the same issues with the property and security in the property is similar in the parking lot. So, okay. So we did, so I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable about this. We did vote on the things we want to bring up to property for this month. I do think we should table some of these things for next month. Is that okay? So keep these things in mind, but we need to bring some manageable things to them. Like, we could throw at them all of the things that are happening here, but we need to give them some things that like they can actionably do, and that might be not all of the things this month.
Yeah, there's no sense in piling them full of, hey, do this now.
Right. So I think that everyone has really great input. I just don't want to overwhelm what we can manageably maybe get started on. Cool? Okay. So thank you, Sherry, for joining us and for being patient with not being able to hear us all the time. And thank you, everybody, for coming. If there is one or two people who would like to come with me to talk to Aman, we can't have all of us just because it's a lot of people in a small room, but would you? Okay.
I would love to come with, but my son has this fun little habit of tearing up offices. He's been
Oh,
really good for me in this meeting because he's been enamored with his YouTube channel, but I don't want to leave him up here while I go downstairs either. So,
yeah. No,
yeah.
and no worries. You know, we're going to bring to them exactly what we talked about here, and really nothing else. So those 4 things that we talked about and voted on here. So you won't necessarily be missing anything in particular. We're just going to get some answers, and we'll bring them back to next month.
Solid. Well, thank you for accommodating me and allowing me to attend the meeting. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Sherry. Take care.
Well, that actually went better than I thought it would. Is from what I've heard in previous meetings before the COVID pandemic, there was a room full of people hooting, hollering, and arguing over me first, and management attended these meetings and basically shut down everything the tenants suggested. So having the caseworkers supervise the meeting, like Philip, he works with all of the other caseworkers in the building, and Dan, I'm pretty sure he works with the veterans, and either Philip or Dan said something about even working with the sober unit down here. So, you know, actual good representatives meeting with us and allowing us to discuss our needs in an orderly fashion. So it went really well, and I'll hear from Brother Michael how the meeting with management went regarding the issues we expressed here. But in the meantime, I gotta go reward the crap out of my son because he was so good during this meeting. I can't even believe his awesomeness letting me do this. So, well, and thank you for bearing with. And, yeah, have a blessed weekend. But, yeah, this is what's going on here. Just the lack of security, and everybody's afraid here. So, hopefully something will get done finally. This building's been open for 4 years, and it's had these same problems for 4 years. Gee, what does that sound like? Oh well. Again, have a blessed weekend, and thanks for tuning in to Hip Eclectic Hope, fighting for human rights. Take care.